Namaskar, dear devotees and friends. This evening, the Wednesday evening, as usual, we'll be reading from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, the Panchama Veda. And today, as a subtitle, as a topic, we have given the one should look after one's mother as long as she is alive. So we will come to that discussion. Before that, as usual, let us chant this mantra. Tabo kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhiriritam kalmashapaham sravanamangalam srimadhatatam bhuvi grinanti e bhurida janaha. This Sri Ramakrishna, he was enjoying along with many devotees in the Balaram Mandir, Balaram's house. Now I said Balaram Mandir because that house, that residence of Balaram, Sri Ramakrishna's disciple, householder disciple, they have donated that whole property to Ramakrishna Mission. And now it has been named as Balaram Mandir. Sri Ramakrishna visited that house many times, more than 100 times. And you can imagine a personality like Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, who was the purity embodiment, who could not go to any person or any place where there was the thought of worldliness. It would have been very difficult for him to go there and forget about taking any food, to avoid that, and also to teach us, those who are embedded into that, the thinking this world is permanent and constantly trying to grab the power, the money for the physical comfort and for satisfying the ego. These are the people Sri Ramakrishna used to avoid. But when he is visiting the Balaram's residence, he was a very rich man. He was a landlord. Even then, Sri Ramakrishna is going over there. He was a householder. He was having the wife, children, his family. Sri Ramakrishna had no problem to mix with them. Why? Because they were devotees. So this is the difference. We have to understand this. And Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, and we have already read in the page 813 in the English book that we are today studying or reading, and the Bengali page will be 872, the Bengali book published by Udbodhan. There Sri Ramakrishna said the jnana and bhakti are one and the same thing. It is a unique statement. And Sri Ramakrishna realized the God, or it is better to say he reached the goal by following different paths. And in Hinduism, there are mainly three. The one is jnana, another is bhakti, another is tantra, we can say. And this tantra and bhakti means to the Vaishnavism and also the jnana marg. And all these three are utilizing the concentration of the mind, that is dhyana yoga. So these paths he followed, and he knew the best. So when the others, they were also all right, they are also correct, when they said jnana is the only path, because they knew only that. But that is the only one portion of the truth, not the complete. Those who are traveling from the path of bhakti, and they think that bhakti is the only path. The word only is the problem. So we can reach through different paths. When someone born as a Muslim or a Christian or a Hindu, so obviously growing up in that atmosphere, hearing about that, practicing that, all around seeing those things, you start thinking this is the path. Of course that is the path. But the problem when they start thinking that is the only path, that path is shooting you good, that is for you. The Parliament of Religions that was held over here in Chicago in 1893, and many of you know that this year the same parliament they are going to organize over here once again in Chicago in this next August from 14 to 18 it will be there. We also are having one standout program on 18th. The Swamis will be discussing from different viewpoint, different angle, this thing. So now this, what is this Parliament of Religion? What we are going to discuss over there? Only this much. Who started it? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. It was long back, it was in the Hinduism, actual original Hinduism, but somehow we forgot. And usually the human mind, we always like to have a narrow path. We can understand that. And that satisfies our ego. That is the main reason. Oh, I am a Vaishnava. I don't eat this, I don't eat that, I don't drink from here, I don't drink from there, I don't touch this, I don't do that. So all that actually satisfy our ego. Whether through that I am reaching to God or not, that is secondary. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna came and rectified that. When you are following the path, the why we are walking, we have a goal to reach. We have a destination. Are we going to the destination, towards the destination or not? If we not, then why should we walk? So that is the main thing. The utilitarian theory, I am spending my time to reach to God, but I don't know what is God. I don't know actually what I am going to gain. But I am not only spending my time on that, I am also disturbing others. So that is called bigotry, narrowness. And we never find that in Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. That is why Swami Vivekananda said, Avatara Varishtaya. He is the best among all the avatars, because in this age, modern age, the same power, same God took the form of Sri Ramachandra, took the form of Sri Krishna. Now in the modern time, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. And what is the main purpose? Dharma sthapana. And what is the dharma? The truth. What is the truth? Goal is to realize God. And what is that God? It is love. It is unselfishness. Whatever may be the path. The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna mentioning that Jnana and Bhakti are one and the same thing. The difference is like this. One man says water, another says a block of ice. So this is the beautiful way, this is the unique way it has been explained. Now, the Sri Ramakrishna, last time we read the two types of samadhi. The first is Jada Samadhi, another is Bhava Samadhi. When those who are practicing the path of the knowledge, they experience Jada Samadhi. Jada means inert. As because in the path of knowledge, they deny. Na iti, na eti. That is the neti, neti. Not this, not this, not this. They are going on denying and reaching to the ultimate. And another path is there. They, from the beginning itself, they say iti, iti. This is one, this one. Whatever I see is nothing but the God. Manifestation of God. God in different form. So these are the two. One is negative, another positive way. But they are reaching to the same goal. And he is mentioning that any path you follow, you will reach there. But you have to have one criteria. What is that? Last and gold. If that last and gold is there, that means the desire is there. And to fulfill the desire, if you need money and you are earning money by that way, whatever that the different way people, they are earning money only to satisfy their desire, they won't be able to realize God. They may follow the path of bhakti, they may follow the path of jnana, but it doesn't matter. Because the first criteria, they are lacking that, the last and gold. The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, I said to Kedar, you will never succeed if your mind dwells on last and gold. So this is Sri Ramakrishna. He is not mentioning that you will never succeed if you don't become my follower. No, he never said that. He was never saying that whatever I am teaching or this culture, that thing, nothing like that. He is mentioning only one thing. Whatever you like to eat, you eat. Whatever the way you like to dress yourself, you do. He is not mentioning anything of that whole Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. When you are reading, he never mentioned anything like that. But one thing he repeated, and that is the root cause of all the bondages, desire. And to satisfy the desire, attachment to the gold. Gold means the wealth. So desire for what? Desire for these worldly things. And what is this world? Temporary. Then what happens? I go and try to grab the land, the property, the name, the fame, the social status, but after some time it goes away. Again I start from the square one. Again the same thing happens, a life after life. It goes. But I think now someday I am going to again, I am going to be happy. The goal is to be happy. Why people are doing all this? Just to become happy. Can they become happy? So many people, they are cheating others and taking the money, and then what happens? They think they are enjoying. What enjoyment? Every day they are going to the hotel, they are dancing, they are drinking, and then sleeping, lying down like the animal, and then again getting up, the same thing they are doing. Is this happiness? In the society, they don't have any respect, there is no satisfaction, all the time fear. They may boast as because they are having the money, they can utilize and they purchase different sections of the society, but that doesn't mean that they are happy inside. The ultimate goal is happiness. It is not the money, it is not the position, it is not the power, it is only happiness. The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is guiding us in that way. That is the uniqueness. Anyone, whoever he may be, maybe he is a Muslim, maybe he is a Christian, maybe he is a Buddhist, maybe whatever religion they are following, if they are sincere, they have to learn from Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. He is not changing the path, he is not changing your philosophy, he is only teaching you the technique, how you will be successful. That technique is, as he said, you have to give up lust and gold. That is the greatest barrier. Otherwise, you may think that you are progressing, you may think that you are a religious person, but it is all in vain. In the hearts of heart, you know that it is nothing. That is all our falsehood. So Sri Ramakrishna, and then he is mentioning that he loves the youngsters. Why? Their mind is clear. The youngsters are yet untouched by lust and gold. That is why I love them so dearly. So last time we read, and then I think we stopped when Balaram Babu. Usually we don't find the Balaram having some dialogue with Sri Ramakrishna, very few. And today, as because the car festival was happening in his house, he was the host, so he was present, he is asking one question. What is that question? Because usually we see the person has practicing the spirituality for a long period of time, then something has some transformation we notice in his character, we can understand that. a person is studying the medicine, the 5 years minimum, then practicing. After 10, 15 years, we can say he's a good doctor. We can understand the 15 years he has dedicated his life to learn the medicine. Now, of course, he can suggest for the others, those who need it. But a young boy who has not practiced anything, at least they have not noticed him, but Sri Ramakrishna is praising him that he is a very pure soul. The Balaram, he had a doubt and he is asking, Sir, how was it possible for Purna? Purna, those who are following the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, you know this name. It came again and again, and Sri Ramakrishna loved that young boy. How was it possible for Purna to know all of a sudden that the world is illusory? Is a young boy, he is not having any experience of this world. Then how could he understand at that young age the world is illusory? Illusion means it is not true. And he is not interested to spend time to gain success in the worldly life. That is the main. Going on studying and then working, then earning money, then ultimately at the age of 18, oh yes, whatever I have done, it is nothing. It's not like that. He's a boy of 15, 16. Narendra, when he came, he was only 17, 18 years young boy. Why this? Sri Ramakrishna now mentioning, he said, he has inherited the knowledge from his previous birth. This is the uniqueness of Hinduism. It accepts the Janmantara Vada, the law of the migration again and again. The Janma Antara, again and again we are taking the birth. So this incarnation theory, reincarnation theory that goes on, Sri Ramakrishna also admitting, and he said, previous life he completed many things. So obviously he is carrying all those good qualities, and suddenly you see him that he is loving God. You think, oh, how come that he is loving God when he is so young? So how it is possible for him to understand that? But in fact, he did it in the past life, in the previous birth. In his past life, he practiced many disciplines. It is a body alone that is small and grows big, not the Atman. The Atman, which is connected with our buddhi, with our intellect. This Atman, the intellect, that goes on, carries on. As long as we are not completely free from all desire, it will go on carrying. So Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, so that the Hindus, this theory gives a lot of answer, because sometimes some people they think, where is the proof that there was previous birth and there will be again the future birth? There is a group of people in the six systems of Indian philosophy. We find a group of people are there. They are also considered the person who is propagating as an acharya. That is also a path. That is also a philosophy. That people, some people, they like it. And they say the life is only this much. And very worldly type of people, they say just enjoy. And don't bother what is going to happen in the next life. But that is an ignorant way of thinking things. Is thinking that nothing is going to happen to us, just do anything. No. Everything has a cause and effect. What is the cause? The cause must be bad. When a person is suffering, why he is suffering? Right from the birth. A baby, right from the birth, suffering. He was born on the pavement, on the footpath, in a very, very poor man's house. Why that soul has gone over there? Just the accident? No, must be having a cause. Nothing happened without a cause. So when we see the result, and there we start thinking or acting on the result. But we don't see the cause. There are causes. So Hindus, they go back to the cause and they say, be careful. And if the cause is good, result will be good for sure. If the cause is bad, result will be bad. So Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning this. Do you know what these youngsters are like? They are like certain plants that grow fruit fast and then flowers. First is the fruit, that effect is there, then flowers. Usually there will be flower, and from the flower the fruit will come. Usually there will be spiritual practices, and then you can see the transformation in that personality. But there are, from the beginning itself, they are very holy type of people. So Sri Ramakrishna mentioning in that there are some fruits where first it is a fruit, then the flower will come. So it says in the pumpkin and something like that, they are the first fruit and then the flowers. And he says that they grow fruit fast and then the flowers. These devotees first of all have the vision of God. Next they hear about His glories and attributes, and last they are united with Him. There is a story in the Bhagavata and the Mahabharata also, that the Arjuna's grandson, Arjuna's son was killed, and then the Uttara, the queen, she was carrying his child, and then it so happened that one person, he was so angry with this Pandavas, he wanted to kill even that baby in the womb. And in that way he tried, but the Bhagavan Krishna, who was the Vishnu himself, protected the baby. And from there a story goes on that is called Parikshita. The Parikshita, the grandson of the Arjuna, he used to ask question to everyone. Why? Because he saw when he was in the womb a person who was so beautiful. And once you see that, even that baby in the womb, when saw and noticed, it went into his mind that the picture of Lord Vishnu, who was protecting him from that fatal attack that was going on. And this Parikshita, he used to ask question, Pariksha means asking question, inquiring again and again. So his name became Parikshit. The Parikshit means he used to ask, he used to inquire. Whenever he will see a new person, immediately he used to go and see and check, is this the person that I saw in my mother's womb? So he was so much impressed. So Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning there are some people who will see the God first, and then they will hear about the glories and attributes. In the Parikshit lives also we find afterwards, when he became the king, when he was inquiring about that supreme being who protected him in the mother's womb, he started hearing, and at the fag end of his life, he was cursed by a Brahmana boy, and he was about to die. And when he was meditating and praying, because 7 days were left in his life, so he gave up the kingdom, and then he was concentrating his mind at the feet of the God. Then there only he started thinking about the God. Then the son, that our great Shukadeva, son of the Vasudeva, he came. He told him about that God, that Vishnu and the incarnation of Vishnu, Sri Krishna. So first he saw the God, then he heard about God, and then finally he dedicated his whole soul at the feet of God. The Sri Ramakrishna mentioning this, there are souls who see God first, then hear about them, then realize them. In the Uddhava Gita also we find when the Bhagavan Sri Krishna, after giving many different types of options to the Uddhava, he said, you better meditate on me, meditate. And then the Uddhava was asking, well, you are asking to meditate, though I don't care about meditation because I have already seen you and my mind is completely full with you. But for the others, those who have not seen you yet, those who like to know about you, how they will meditate? So this question Uddhava is asking, and Lord is mentioning. Uddhava asks three things. How they will meditate, the process of meditation. On whom they will meditate, what is that God or the object on whom they will concentrate, and why they will meditate on that particular God or goddess. There must be some qualities of that God. So tell me these three: process and the epithets, the qualities of that particular object or God or goddess, and then the result of that meditation. So these three they are mentioning in the Uddhava Gita. Here Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning one should, that he goes on in this way. Next they hear about his glories and attributes, and at the last they are united with him. Look at Niranjan. This is afterwards he became Niranjanananda. Swami Vivekananda gave that name to him. The Anjana means blemish, and the blemish means the desire. When there is a desire, there is an ahamkara, the ego. If there is no ego, there is no question of desire. So obviously, the one who is not having the ego, is not having any desire, he is Niranjana. Ni means negative. Not. So ni is not. Anjana, desire, or the blemish. So this Niranjana, then afterwards he became Niranjanananda. So Sri Ramakrishna used to like him very much. He was a strong young man. So he used to come to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, and he used to look after his mother. And for his mother, he took up a job. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna was expecting that he will become a brahmachari and a sannyasi. When he accepted the job, and Sri Ramakrishna was at the beginning, he thought, oh, why you have taken the job? Because your mind will be there. And then afterwards he said, no, you have done it for your mother, to support your mother, to take care of your mother. I appreciate that. And there he is mentioning, he always keeps his accounts clear. He will be able to go whenever he hears the call, but one should look after one's mother as long as she is alive. I used to worship my mother with flowers and sandal paste. It is the mother of the universe who is embodied as our earthly mother. Now the world celebrates the Mother's Day. That is good. At least for one day they should remember the contribution of the mother. And the advanced countries, they celebrate that, the Mother's Day. They will be remembering the mother, and that particular day they will take out the mother for food and they will give the gift. Like that, that is good. But the mother and the father, they are these two, in the beginning of our life, they have done so much for us. And that is the reason one should not forget. Why? The human must have two qualities, otherwise he may be a very highly educated person, well established in the society, a somebody in the society, it doesn't matter. He won't be considered as a human. The true Hindu will never consider him as a human if these two qualities are not there in him. What are those two qualities? One is Shraddha and Kritagata. These two Sanskrit words. Shraddha means faith and Kritagata means gratefulness. this faith and gratefulness. Faith in the words of the scripture and the Guru. That is called Shraddha. Otherwise, a human cannot make progress. What is education? A few days before, there was a seminar, people that came over here. I had the opportunity to talk to them, and I was telling them, though I thought it and said in many places, expressed that, the education means the combination of 5 actions. Education is the combination of 5 actions. What are the 5 actions? First is observation. When you can imagine the primitive people, they were observing the happenings all around them. The 2 great, the branches of the tree rubbing together, creating fire. They observed it as an example. And when they were observing, they were thinking whether this is going to help us or destroy us. So, observation, then discrimination, vichara. After the vichara, utilization. No, fire can be utilized because it is giving us the warmth. It can help us in cooking and it gives us light. So, they started fire worshipping. The Hindus, not only Hindus, in many the faiths, fire worshipping. Why? Till today, you will find the Hindu tradition, anything that happens, they will light a lamp. Why the lamp? That fire. And the fire, that gave us everything. So, the first is observation, minutely looking at it and analyzing it. So, discrimination. Then utilization, the third step. Then preservation. After using, people never forgot that. They rather preserved it, not only in memory, but also they wrote it down. Somehow they preserved that knowledge and handed it down to the next generation. So, education is a combination of 5 actions: observation, discrimination, utilization, preservation, and transmission. These 5 actions come together is called education. So, this way, if we look at it, why the Hindus are so grateful? Because the Shraddha, someone observed it and utilized it and preserved that and then transmitted that to the next generation. And they also did the same way. It has come down to us. Shall we not be grateful to these people? Suppose every generation we are only trying to take out the fire out of rubbing 2 stones, and we would have remained that primitive all through. So, Shraddha means those people have done all these things for us and we should be grateful to them. The Shraddha, the faith, and then comes the gratefulness. Have you observed? The Hindus, they worship the Himalaya mountain. It is only mountain. Why do they worship that? Not only that, Devatma they say. Himalaya is not only nothing but the mountain, and that type of mountain ranges are there in many other places in the world. But why the Hindus, they always think that Himalaya is the God? And some people just they started believing and they think Himalaya, nothing like that. If you notice it, the Hindus are very grateful type of people. Somehow, because of different political and social and economical changes, a little changes have come and we were cut off from our tradition. Again it is coming back slowly. Look at the Himalaya. What is the contribution of the Himalaya? It is stopping the cool breeze from the north, and at the same time is stopping the water bearing the clouds and causing the rain over there. And that is the reason so many rivers are coming out. And these rivers are fertilizing the Indian soil. What the Hindus they did, if you notice, it is really unique. To gratefulness that they were expressing, they said Devata. Devata means those who are really helping us. So Himalaya is helping us in two ways. And there's rivers. And they remembered these 7 rivers all through. And in their worship also, these 7 rivers they will remember. Gange cha, Jamuna chaiva, cha means and. Ganga and Jamuna and Godavari and Kaveri and Saraswati and Narmada and Sindhu, all these 7 rivers, before we sit for puja, we always remember. And when the priest is chanting that mantra, we think, oh, they are chanting from something Veda. Maybe, but it is mainly to express our gratefulness to these rivers. We worship the trees, we worship the animals, particularly cows, because it is helping us a lot. A very domestic animal, it gives us and helps us a lot. That's why the cows became they said we have to worship the cow. If we understand, as we call nowadays, the decoding, that will give us clear idea about the Hindus' way of living. If we don't understand that, only repetition of the same thing without understanding the meaning, why we are doing, that creates problem for me also, those who are doing that, and also for others. So we have to understand this. The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is mentioning about the mother. Swami Vivekananda, when he was traveling in the Himalaya, before coming to the West, he was traveling all over India. And in Almora, that is in Himalaya range, in Almora, he became very, very tired. There was no food, there was no water. So he almost fainted. One of his brother disciples, Swami Akhandanandaji, he was younger than Swamiji. He ran to find out a little water or food. In the meantime, a Muslim gentleman noticed that a Hindu sannyasi is lying almost fainted. He came running. He was a poor man. He was having 2 cucumbers. And the cucumber, it contains both. If you eat, you find the water also, at the same time you can satisfy your hunger. He gave that cucumber to Swamiji, saved his life. Cucumber only, very simple food, the fruit we can say. Now afterwards, when Swami Vivekananda became very famous Vivekananda, after the Parliament of World Religion, he went back to India, and then he was getting the invitation from the people of different places. He went to Almora again, but this time a very famous Vivekananda, and all the great people over there, the local people, they were having a celebration in the evening time, and many people from far the near, they all came to see this famous sannyasi. Vivekananda was sitting on the dais and suddenly noticed that particular person who gave him that cucumber. He came down from there, and that person could not identify. But Vivekananda didn't forget that face who saved his life just by giving a cucumber. And he went and held his hand and took him on the dais, introduced to all people that this is the person who saved my life. Without him, you would not have get this Vivekananda today. This is called gratefulness. Even someone is helping in a whatever little way, one should not forget. So this is called the man. Human must have 2 great qualities, Shraddha and Kritagata. I always repeat it wherever I go. These 2 are the great qualities. Having faith in the words of the scriptures and the Guru. Of course, Swami Vivekananda added in faith in oneself. I am going to do it. I must do it. I will be able to do it. That is also Atma Sraddha. Atma means self. The having the complete faith in oneself. It's not proud. It's not ego. It's a confidence. I can do it. Many others can do. I can also do. So by that way, when he is thinking at the same time, Kritagata, that anyone helping me, I should not forget. So one should not forget the motherland. The motherland includes each and every one. Those who are cultivating even in the rain, they are cultivating the grains, and that is coming to the market, and then I am eating. The teachers and the thousands of people, they are paying their taxes. Through that taxes, so many things are happening. Shall I not be grateful? So wherever I am, and that is my country, and I should be grateful to that country and the people. So this is the way a human grows up. Otherwise, a selfish and very crooked type of person, he may look like a human, but he is not actually human. Now come to this point of mother. Now these people are helping us in so different way, and we should be grateful to them. What about mother? And of course the father is there. That's why the Hindus, they say, Pita Sarga, Pita Dharma, Pita hi Paramam Tapa. The tapa means the austerity that we practice. When we are serving the Father, that is the greatest tapasya. And we are serving that particular person who protected me when I was a child, a baby. And I was helpless. At that time, these two, the mother and the father, they protected me, helped me to grow. Shall I forget that? So that is why when the Niranjan, he was earning money to serve his mother, Sri Ramakrishna appreciated that, and he said, one should look after one's mother as long as she is alive. And mother, look at that. She was carrying me for 10 months. And then after the birth, taking every care, nights after nights, didn't sleep, and forgot everything only for me. And when I grow up, I stand on my own feet. Shall we forget that mother? So then, where is the difference between an animal and a human being? So we cannot forget. The mother is the embodiment of patience. Mother is the embodiment of purity. Self-service, love, all the best qualities that a human can think of is there in the mother. So that is why one should not forget the mother. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna also used to worship his own mother. He was a completely sannyasi. He is the maker of the sannyasis like Swami Vivekananda, Brahmananda, Turiyananda. But still, when his mother said, I don't like to see you in the Gerua cloth, because I don't like to see you that you are becoming a sannyasi, he promised. All through his life, he didn't wear the Gerua, because the mother, he gave promise to the mother. When the mother became very old, he brought his mother from the village, Kamarpukur, and arranged to stay her very close to near to him in Dakshinesha. And when his own wife, Ma Saradamani Devi, came, the Ma Saradamani Devi used to look after that old mother, Chandramani Devi. But mother was also, the Chandramani Devi also, was so kind and so good. She never wanted anything from anyone. The mothers also should be like that. If sometimes the mothers, they don't understand, they start demanding so much from their children as if they have invested and now they want back that the investment. No, that is also bad. the mothers also should understand only by giving birth one cannot become the mother. The one has to be very, very careful about that. It is the motherhood, is a divine position. Jananim janma bhumischa sargadapi gariyashi. Why they say like that? The janma bhumi is also protecting me, giving me so many things that I should not forget that particular land. And at the same time, Janani. This Janani means the mother. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, as long as you look after your own body, you must look after your mother too. I have noticed this uniqueness in Sri Ramakrishna's teaching. Whenever he says something, he makes it perfect. So when he says that one must serve his own mother, immediately the question will come, what will happen to those sannyasins, those who have left their hearth and home? Have they committed sin? Next line, Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning. When one becomes a sannyasi, his mind becomes completely free from all this. Not selfishness, but love for God, love for the ideology, love for the sannyasa. It becomes so intense that he prays to the God, God, please guide me. And we have noticed in our own life and also the many sannyasins' lives, their mothers are always very nicely protected. And nowadays, as because the Ramakrishna mission has that capacity. Previously, we were very poor. The organization was very poor, and that's why they could not do, though they had that intention. Now I heard that if someone, the mother or a father or the parents, we can say, if they want and if they are not having the sufficient property or the money to help themselves, our headquarters, Belur Math, Ramakrishna Mission, take all responsibility of these parents. As because the son has become a sannyasi or the brahmachari, and his mother and father, they are not having any place to go or anyone to look after, the organization is taking the responsibility. I have heard in that way in many places, not very much pronounced, but they are helping in that way. So that is also the way the God will protect the mother and the father. But as long as one is having his own identity with the body and the relation with the family, one should not become the sannyasi or the nuns sannyasini. Rather, is serve the mother. As long as you look after your own body, that is the word Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna mentioned, you must look after your mother too. Therefore, I said to Hajra. Now we come to another character, another person. Hajra Mahashaya, he was well read. He read many of the scriptures. He used to sit just in front of Sri Ramakrishna's room. Those who have visited Dakshineshwar, you can understand that. When the moment you imagine the Hajra, he used to sit in front of the room of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. And when the people are visiting Sri Ramakrishna, Hajra will call them. He will try to impress them because he was having some loan. He wanted to get some money from the devotees and to repay back the loan. So, but at the same time, he used to boast about his scriptural knowledge. The Sri Ramakrishna said to him, why you are here? He is telling. I said to Hajra, when you have a cold, you procure black pepper, sugar candy and salt. As long as you feel you must look after your body, you must look after your mother too. But Hajra Mahashaya, he was not very much careful about his mother. When the mothers become the old, they become quiet and particularly mothers, maybe the father being a male, they say something, they have a voice and an expression. But the mothers, as we are very modest, and they don't like to express anything. I'm fine, I'm all right, I'm okay. But it is the duty of the children to see how mother can become happy. When we were children, then we were not understanding anything. We used to make so many mistakes. And these parents, they used to take care of us. And each and every time they used to forget about all those mistakes that we did. They never said anything. They rectified that, corrected that, helped us to grow up as a human being. Now, when they become elderly, they also slowly lose control on their minds, on their the senses, and they start behaving like the children. Now, it is our duty, the grown-up children, the human being, to look after the mothers. Just nowadays, they have become that the old age homes. The children will be sent the parents over there. Maybe because of the economical and social condition, that is also another option. But if there is an opportunity, one should try to help the parents. That is what Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, because that is the way at least one can. Those who are far away, those who are in the foreign countries, they cannot afford to go and spend time with their parents. At least they should, if not every day, at least in a week, they should contact the mother and the father, and they should take care. Some money should be given to them, even if they are not asking or saying something. Now, you need it, keep it. And nowadays it is so easy. Even in the telephone, the smart telephone, you can see, you can talk. So the feeling that we are close, that is also essential. The religion means a transformation. Religion means the love. And if I cannot love, if I cannot think about my own mother and father, then what type of human being then I am? That is, Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning in that way, that before becoming the saying that I am a religious person, and suppose you forget yourself completely, then it is different. But even Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he used to go into samadhi now and then. Even then he remembered his mother. So here the unique teaching of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is mentioning that, and he is asking Hazra Mahashaya, who was well versed in scripture, but at the same time his behavior was not tallying with his scriptural knowledge. Sri Ramakrishna rectifying him, asking him to take care of his mother. But it is quite different when you completely forget your body. Then God himself assumes your responsibilities. Here Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna gives a statement. And friends, it is not just saying something. It is the words of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Whatever he said is true. And he just to satisfy or like other philosophers, he is saying nothing like that. It is a God's word. He never said anything wrong, anything which is not telling. He mentioned it. It is quite different when you completely forget your body. Then God himself assumes your responsibilities. If I am completely dedicated to God, God will take care of the father and the mother and my responsibilities. Now he is giving the example. A minor cannot look after himself, therefore a guardian is appointed for him. Chaitanya Dev, like a mere minor, could not look after himself. He is mentioning about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Aim went to the Ganges to bathe. Sri Ramakrishna was talking with the devotees in the small room in Balaram's house. And the Balaram, Tulsi, Haripada, Girish and other devotees were sitting on the floor. Master Maharshi returned from the Ganges. After saluting Sri Ramakrishna, he took a seat near him. Sri Ramakrishna was recounting to the devotees some of his spiritual experiences. And he said, one day in the Kali temple, Halodhari and Nangta were reading Adhyatma Ramayana. Suddenly I had a vision of a river with woods on both sides. The trees and plants were green. Rama and Lakshmana were walking along wearing their shorts. One day in front of the kuti, I saw Arjuna's chariot. Sri Krishna was seated. This is called mysticism. The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, when something they were reading, and he was transported to that particular time and period, and he saw that happening. We have heard that the Vrindavan was discovered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by this way. They have read in the life of Sri Krishna about the Vrindavan, but the Vrindavan, all people they left and it became completely jungle, Vrindavan and Mathura. The birthplace of Sri Krishna and all these childhood days were there, but it was covered with the jungle. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he used to read, he used to go back to that time and he asked his disciples to go and find out those places and rediscovers those. At present day, Mathura and Vrindavan was completely discovered by this type of people who really saw those things happening over there. And Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning about himself. Girish said, I am examining your horoscope. Some people they like to know about that. Sri Ramakrishna smiled. He said, I was born on the second day of the bright fortnight of the moon. My horoscope shows the portions of the sun, the moon, and the Mercury at the time of my birth, Robi, Chandra, and Budh. In the Indian language, they say there are not many more details. The horoscope, you will notice that we celebrate not the birthday, but the Tithi Puja. We call it Puja. Puja means celebration, worship. And Tithi means when that particular baby was born, what was there, the celestial position. Exactly that very moment, that day, that year, that very moment, on that particular place, whatever was there, that is recorded and that is called Tithi. They are mentioning in this way. The Girish, you were born under Kumbha. Rama and Krishna were born under Karkat and Brisha, and the Chaitanya under Shimha. Master, I had two desires. First, I should be the king of the devotees, and second, I should not be a dry sadhu. So Sri Ramakrishna, when you are calculating, they say what will happen to you in future. The Sri Ramakrishna said, I want to be a great devotee, the king among the devotees. King means the first person. As nowadays we say that first citizen. The President of America is the first citizen, and President of India is the first citizen. Like that, the king means as the first person of that among the people. So I want to be the first one among the devotees. That is what he said. And also I never wanted to become a dry sadhu. What is a dry sadhu? They go on analyzing and they won't talk to anyone and they are always grave face. That is not the symbol of a sadhu. The Sri Ramakrishna is changing the complete conception. But at the same time, again and again, in this particular chapter, we have seen he told you should not have even an iota of lust and gold. You should not have that. Friends, we are concluding this particular chapter. Here he said that the people they are talking about, and then they are pointing to the Master Mahashaya. Then Sri Ramakrishna is to like him, Master Mahashaya, and other people is to have some fun and jokes like the friends they do. So they are telling, then Tulsi, he said, pointing to the Master Mahashaya. Master Mahashaya himself is writing. This is the beauty of his writing. He didn't say or dropped anything that was related to him, but he never wanted to disclose his own name. He said, pointing to him. The Tulsi said to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he never laughs. Then Sri Ramakrishna, but he laughs inside. The surface of the river Falgu is covered with sand, but if you dig into the sand, water comes up. The Sri Ramakrishna noticed the Master Mahashaya. He used to enjoy. He was a shy type of person. He never used to go into that conversation like Narendranath used to do, Girish Chandra used to do, but he used to enjoy. Sri Ramakrishna mentioned that. Don't you scrap your, he is talking, the Master, perhaps the account of my early spiritual experiences. Balaram, if Purna is a perfect by nature, then what is aim's function? Now Balaram Bose, he is thinking Master Mahashaya is a teacher, so obviously he must have taught something to the Purna, that young boy. So he is again, you may remember in the beginning of our today's reading, the Balaram asked this question, how Purna at this age could understand the futility of this world. And now he is again asking to reconfirm, is it not that the Master Mahashaya influenced him? So he wanted to understand this young boy, influenced by the words of the Master Mahashaya, Mahendranath Gupta, is he thinking this world is temporary? Then he is asking, if the Purna is perfect by nature, then what is the aim's function? Sri Ramakrishna, a mere instrument. So this is the way Sri Ramakrishna helped Master Mahashaya not to be feel proud. Master Mahashaya all through his life was very humble. If someone has come to the ashrama, the elderly devotees sometimes make a mistake by saying something wrong or behaving in a wrong way. That is very, very bad in spiritual life. Thank you, friends. We will stop over here, and the next Wednesday, next month, we will start from another chapter, chapter 43. Any question?
Somen Das is asking, when everything is predetermined by God and there is no free will, then why people hurt others to satisfy their ego, or do they not, or they don't know they are wrong, or this is also God's will?
See, this is when you are thinking that it is God's will, then obviously you are not attached to by that way. Try to understand this. A little child, it doesn't know actually what is this gun, but his father is a police officer having a gun. He just left that on the table, maybe a loaded gun, maybe the safety also was on, and the child at 7 or 8 years old, just out of play, not knowing what is going to happen, if he shoot that and the bullet goes and hit his own father, then do you think there will be law to punish the child? No. The same way, if we are completely depending on the God's will, knowing it for sure that everything is God's will, then we will never complain, we will never feel unhappy. There is a wonderful story on this particular thing. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, I think you have already heard the story of a very ordinary person, a weaver. And he used to believe that everything is happening at the will of Sri Rama. He was a follower of Sri Rama. So he used to say everything is Sri Rama. One day, a group of dacoits were going. They saw him sitting on his veranda, and they forced him to go along with them because they understood that after getting something, after dacoity, we have to carry those things. We need a person, a strong person like him. They forced him to go, and after that they gave him something, and then he was carrying that load. And afterwards the police chased the dacoits, they all fled. This man who was carrying a heavy load couldn't go anywhere, the police arrested. He was in the jail. Next day morning, whole village came to the judge and said, "Sir, he's a very holy person, very innocent type of person. So he can never do it. Please ask him before giving your verdict, your punishment." And when the judge asked, "What happened to you?" he went on telling, "After my day's work, I bathed, I worshipped, and then I ate by the grace of, at the will of Sri Ramachandra. Then when I was sitting over there at the will of Sri Ramachandra, some few dacoits came and forced me to go. At the will of Sri Ramachandra, they asked me to carry a load. At the will of Sri Ramachandra, police came and arrested me. At the will of Ramachandra, I was in the jail. At the will of Ramachandra, I am standing before you." And that way he was completely depending on God, and judge also understood that he is innocent. So if we can do that, then there is no problem. It is all God's will. But when we think that now I am doing, then you have to take the responsibility. And there comes all problem. Thank you.
Shomanda is asking his second part question. Can you please guide me to get over this ego and Maya to get into the path of spirituality?
You know that not me, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna himself said that, I have to remove my ego, I have to remove my ego. You cannot do like that. What you can do, you can just turn it towards God. Suppose you feel that something has happened, you are happy. You said, because of the God's will, I have been successful in this and I am happy today. Thanks to God. So just turn towards God. Something happened wrong, and because of God's will only, I couldn't be successful. I should not be morose or depressed. Thakur wants me to be like this. It is okay. So like that if you can do, then there will be no ego. The ego, the I, will be merging with Sri Ramakrishna and God, and you will be free. So that is the only way we can go out of it.
Abhishek Banerjee is asking how to protect ourselves from desire in this age of social media where it's all about showing off.
Now that is true. That is true. That that when you are here, of course you have to go according to the present day, but only pray, as because you know, and if you feel that these desires are going to bind me, so pray to God. Oh God, you have asked me to be in this world. Maybe my past karma phala, so that's why I am happening, in this world I am bound. Please help me. And you will see the miracle is happening. Everything you can do, all responsibility you will perform, but you won't be attached to those. So that is the way the spiritual practices. Wherever you are, just perform your sadharma. That maybe you are an officer, you have some responsibility, try to perform as best as possible according to your capacity and give it to God. So this is my capacity, what I can do. Please ask my superior to understand this. They should not be angry with me. They should not misunderstand me. And my colleagues also, they should not misunderstand me. They let them have a positive thought about me. everything will be normal. There won't be any tension. Depend on God and believe it, things will be really very positive and good for you. And if there is anything that because of the past life, some suffering, that will be there, but don't worry, that will also go away. And think that, oh, I have done something wrong, so this is happening, but God will take care of it. I'll be over very quickly, and depend on God, depend on God. Thank you, friends. Let us chant this mantra and we conclude. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidhyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namama. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.